The man who is super busy this time of year, getting ready for the 33rd annual rodeo. Hard to believe that it's been 33 years.
And it's hard to believe it's already time for it.
Yeah, I mean, it just rolls around. He just kind of,
so quickly.
Before we forget it though, you wanted to mention something about the Queen deal.
Oh yes, Debbie told me to be sure and tell everybody that if you're interested in the 16 to 18-year-old division or the 18 to 24, you can still get your application in by 12 noon in the sheriff's office tomorrow.
That's
Wednesday, 12 noon. We've got several girls in the 16 to 18, and I think we've got 3 or 4 in the 18 to 24, but it's extended till Wednesday, so if anybody's interested, get your application in.
Programs out yet?
Programs will be next week before we get those. Hopefully the T-shirts will be ready today, and because we've got I think it was like 480-something T-shirts we had to get for our special needs class that'll be out there. So that thing's grown.
Oh,
it's
wow.
going to be huge.
All right, the rodeo parade's this Saturday?
This Saturday, the parade, and I think we've had some missed signals going out on that, but the official word is the parade's at 2 o'clock. We prefer if people try to get there about 1, start lining up. They'll go through downtown Athens. You don't have to pre-register. It doesn't cost anything. Just come on out and
with your
join us
horse.
in our parade. Horse, buggy,
Gotta provide your own
bicycle.
horse.
You can ride a goat in it, whatever you want to.
And then you got the deal at Preston's comes up next week.
That'll be on Tuesday night, Monday night next week. Then Tuesday night, street dance. And then Thursday we'll have slack, and Friday and Saturday rodeo.
So it's a big week. Is that
Go
week
to
any-
Slack. It is so much fun to go to Slack. It's so different.
Oh, and we should have several elementary schools
Okay.
throughout the
Yeah,
county to be coming out
good.
there for that.
Does this week, when this comes around, how many volunteers does it take for you to pull this off?
Well, most of all the activities and work is done by people that work for the sheriff's office, but we have probably a group of about 20 people that are not actually members of the sheriff's office that come out and help.
I mean, it's a
you're
big,
talking
everybody
about-
talks about the Limestone County Sheriff's Rodeo.
Well, it's been a good one. It's been great. As a matter of fact, something we're doing this year. Hope we'll have it ready before the rodeo. We're building a pole barn. Some of our FFA classes have had their cattle judging and tractor driving contest out there, and they've had to cancel a couple times because of rain. So we're building a pole barn so our kids here in our schools here in Limestone County can still have their cattle judging whether it's rain or shine.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
It's really going to be nice.
Y'all started it yet?
We've already got the pad built, and we've got a gentleman. It's a group of Mennonites out of Lexington, Tennessee. They're supposed to be down either this week or the first next week and get it erected.
Really?
Nice.
And I've got to tell y'all something. I run into a lady a while ago. She said she was at Publix yesterday. Said she run into a gentleman about 70 years old, had a little 3-year-old boy in his buggy. Said as they were going around shopping, the kid was just kicking and screaming. Said she heard the gentleman say, "William, everything's going to be okay. Don't get excited." Said he got over in the candy section. This kid was grabbing candy off the shelves, throwing it on the floor. She heard him say, "William, it's not going to be long. We'll be out here. Just remain calm." Said he gets to the checkout counter. The kid is throwing stuff out of the buggy into the floor, and he's like, "William, in about 15, 20 minutes, we'll be home. Don't get excited." Said she followed him out, and as he was putting his groceries in the truck, she told him, said, "Sir," said, "I observed you in there, and I just want to compliment on you. I think you handled that situation really remarkable, and I know that when little William gets to be grown, he's going to love and appreciate having a granddaddy like you." But she said, the man looked at her and said, "Lady, my name is William. That little something gun's name's Johnny."
Let me change the subject on you a little bit here, Mike, and get your opinion on this Baltimore situation. And then you had the officer in New York died. Why are so many people going against law enforcement these days in these situations and giving these low-life thugs more time than they ever deserve here? What's happening to society?
Well,
and you being a man who's been in law enforcement all your life.
For them.
Society is constantly evolving, and sometimes what it evolves into is not necessarily what we like or we prefer. But I think that you've got so many people concerned about political correctness. You've got a situation there where Obviously, there's been situations where law enforcement officers have made some bad choices. There's been, and law enforcement comes out of the same gene pool that the rest of society comes out of, and you're going to have some that are not suited
But
for
it's
that.
a very
but
small minority.
It is, and a lot of times,
But they run
because
with it.
of a lot of politicians wanting to pander to a group of, as you said, thugs, hoodlums, dope dealers. If you notice, they don't want law enforcement in those areas because they want to be able to deal dope with impunity. The gangs want to be able to extort money from the citizens. There's probably a lot of people in those communities that you don't hear from, because if they got up and said, hey, we want the police in here, we want them to stop these thugs, because as soon as the media, the camera leaves and the police officers leave, some of the thugs going to come over and beat the daylights out of them.
Or kill them.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know if, I wished I had it with me, but it's about political correctness. When MacArthur had said something to Truman, and Truman told him he needed to be a little more politically correct when he asked President Truman what was political correctness. Truman had a pretty good answer. It's something about picking up a piece of you-know-what from the clean end. I don't know.
Well, being a law enforcement, though, this just got to...
It's very frustrating. It's going to be a whole lot of consequences that, as a result of the officers are going to be concerned about going out there doing their job, because they're going to say, well, I'm out here doing my job, then what's going to happen to me? I think just the fact that if you just look at the overall circumstances up there, I don't know what happened to the guy that died. I don't know if it was some wrongdoing on the part of the police or not, or his own fruition. But the bottom line is, this guy, and I'm not saying any, his predisposition to his lifestyle doesn't mean it's okay to mistreat him, but you have to look. This guy 20-something times been arrested for distribution of drugs. Every one of these instances where someone
He
has
wasn't an
gotten
angel by
hurt
no means.
or killed, if they've been doing what they're supposed to do, right or wrong on the police part, nothing would have happened to
But
them.
why is there no outrage on this 27-year officer dying when this other guy who served 8 years in prison for homicide before was out, shoots him through the window, shoots him in the head, and he dies 2 days later?
You're dealing with a whole different class and segment of society.
Because even if that man was killed unjustly, it doesn't give them a right to riot and do what they're doing to their town.
And the system is going to work. If a police officer's done something wrong, he's going to wind up getting himself in trouble. He's going to go to jail. There's plenty of them sitting in jail for it.
But anyway, just want to get your opinion on that as a life